You are standing on a wound, a fresh, open incision where the planet is literally tearing itself apart. Most people come to Iceland looking for the postcard, the waterfall, the cute puffin, the hot dog stand. But you are here for the autopsy. Welcome to the southwestern tip of the Reykjanes Peninsula. This isn't just a pile of rocks, it is a geological triumvirate we call the Rift Trinity. And in a radius of less than 10 kilometers, you get three distinct versions of the apocalypse: the tectonic fracture, the volcanic wasteland, and the oceanic fury. It is efficient, brutal, and sitting less than 30 minutes from the international airport, meaning you can stare into the abyss and be back at the gate before your cappuccino gets cold. Strip the logistics away, and what's left is the incision. The first symptom is the fracture, the bridge between continents. The locals call it Midlina. The brochure will tell you this bridge connects the North American tectonic plate to the Eurasian plate, a symbol of unity. It is a lovely metaphor. It is also a lie. This is a graben, a rift valley where the earth isn't just cracking but subsiding, the land between the plates collapsing into the void as the continents drift apart at a rate of about 2 centimeters a year. You are standing on a moving target, and the bridge is just a 15-meter utilitarian metal staple trying to hold the skin together. But the real violence here is invisible until it hits you. This rift valley acts as a natural Venturi tube, accelerating the wind into a weapon that isn't just a breeze, but omnidirectional white noise screaming in your ears. It scours the skin, forcing you to squint against the grit. And if you aren't careful, that microscopic volcanic grit can haze and strip coatings fast. North of it, the wound changes texture. The cut becomes a scab. A short distance north sits the Stampar Crater Row, the burn scar on the same body. If the bridge is the cut, Stampar is the fresh burn, a chaotic landscape of red and black scoria, spatter cones, and slag that looks so much like Mars you half expect to see a rover stranded in the broken glass. Inside a crater, the world collapses into silence. Not peaceful silence, structural silence. Your own breathing suddenly sounds too loud, too human, in a place that isn't built for humans at all. The ground here is a textured trap, offering you the smooth, ropey lava called ʻAʻā, which looks like frozen skin, or the jagged ʻAʻā lava that crunches underfoot like shattered teeth. And amidst this black wreckage, you see the fluorescent neon green moss called Racemitrium. One boot print lasts decades. The moss keeps receipts. Then the salt arrives. Stóra Sandvík, and on the way in, before the beach even reveals itself, the road runs along the edge of small lakes like dark mirrors. On a still night, the lakes go glass flat. The sky doubles itself in the water. A rippled surface turns magic into noise. Then, the road lifts you onto a small rise above the beach. From that hump, the whole cove appears at once. Yellow sand, white surf, gray sky, and the dunes holding it all back. This is where the ocean picks at the wound. On the right days, you will see surfers and the cold weather regulars out here. Not because it is comfortable, but because they are addicted to the brutality of the light and the clean horizon. It is desolate enough that this beach at Sandvík was used as a stand-in for Iwo Jima in Flags of Our Fathers, relying on the high grassy dunes to act as a shutter against the modern world. They erase the road and the timeline, leaving you in a vacuum that could be 1945 or the Stone Age. The wind that screamed at the bridge finds its voice here in the water. It is the same white noise, the same violence, now just filling your teeth with salt. In winter, the sun barely clears the horizon, and what you saw reflected in the lakes becomes a performance over open sand. In summer, the light refuses to die, dragging on for hours like a slow interrogation, and the colors stay awake long past the time your body wants to quit. But the most violent sunset version of this place belongs to spring and autumn, when the sun drops clean into the ocean and the whole beach turns cinematic. In high summer, it sets farther west, catches land, and the effect is still beautiful, just less surgical. Despite the bite of the Atlantic, this place is a surfer's purgatory. Figures in thick neoprene, insulated against the killing cold, drift in the swell to tame the waves. But comfort is the trap. The ocean here is indifferent. We talk of sneaker waves, surges that rush the shore far higher than the gradient suggests, so that one moment you are watching the horizon, and the next you are waist-deep in freezing brine, being dragged into the deep. It is a beautiful place to drown. So why is anyone out here in the freezing wind? Because of the efficiency of the sublime. You don't have to drive 5 hours into the highlands to find the end of the world. It is right here. But there is a price for the view, as the new Reykjanes fires burn nearby, and the ground shudders with earthquakes, keeping the tension high. It is the cut, the scab, and the salt. And the peninsula cuts back. Watch your step. The moss remembers.
That 15-metre metal staple pretending to be a bridge between continents is almost sweet. A tourist metaphor nailed over a moving wound, so the abyss can feel like a souvenir. If you came here for the cut, the scab, and the salt, instead of a postcard with feelings, do the useful thing now. Subscribe to Iceland Explained on YouTube, like this episode, leave a comment, and follow the show on every podcast platform. This is The Filter, a way to separate those who want the jagged truth from the crowds chasing soft-focused lifestyle choices and digital garbage. Join the ranks. Keep the signal alive before the algorithm buries the autopsy under puffins, useless shorts, and brochure perfume. For the unspoken layers, go to icelandexplained.com. That is our diagnostic hub. Raw source notes, field context, deeper articles, and the vetted gear we trust when Iceland starts behaving like Iceland. The link in the description is not decoration. Use it. Pay the sanity tax, support the channel directly, feed the tip jar, and keep this operation independent. We do not do corporate fluff, sponsored delusions, or brochure poetry for landscapes that would gladly sandblast your camera and call it weather. We keep the story sharp, unbought, and inconvenient. You help make sure it stays that way. Your next directive is inside the playlist. On the map, one road runs south to one blunt choice at the end. In the series, it splits into 2 chapters. Left into Gunuvur, where boiling mud and Gunu's ghost turn folklore into steam. Right into Reykjanes, where the lighthouse faces LD offshore, and the Great Auk story ends with commission money and one crushed egg. Or move north in the series to Suðurnesjaber, where Garður and Sandgerði bring harbor weather, maritime grit, and the stripped foundations of a former Cold War radar base, where the North Atlantic was once watched, measured, and still refused to behave. Different episodes, same anatomy. This is Iceland Explained. We deliver the fracture, you get the context. We serve the salt, you feel the pressure. We give you the anatomy of a landscape still arguing with the planet underneath it. A story, not a guide.